My children fought for their lives. They were born at 1 pound 6 and 1 pound 7, and was told they wouldn't make it out of the hospital.
And so you pursued at A&T an education in communications. And what were your original plans with the communications degree?
You're not ready for this one. I was going to be the next Oprah. I had done the pageant, the Diamonds and Pearls pageant in high school, and I learned that I had the gift of public speaking. I was a nervous wreck, but I was good, right? And so I didn't know that until I watched a video of it. I was like, God, that is good. And so everyone else told me I should major in communications. I always said I was going to be an English teacher or a lawyer. And so even in the speech I gave, I said, is it a book for the lawyer? A book for the professor, a case for the lawyer, or an apple for the teacher? And I ended up kind of doing all of those except being a lawyer. And so I thought I was going to be the next Oprah. I dabbled in the world of journalism for a little bit, did some work, an internship with Fox 8 News, and did some other work in the news world, and figured out this is not what I want to do with my life. And so I changed majors. I finished my communication major, but I added a minor in business. So I needed something to fall back on. All of my classmates had either a double major or a major and a minor. So I minored in business management.
So now in the process, you were able to see that you had some skill in communication. Did you know at that time that it was going to come in handy in this manner?
God, no. I've always loved the Lord, but in my younger years, I experienced my younger years, right? So no. I was told very early on from many people that I had a gift, but I didn't know what that. I had no clue what that meant. Even when I joined a church in Greensboro while I was in college, I joined Mount Zion in Greensboro. And when I went through the new members class, because it was a long process, you can't just join their church, you go through a class. And at that last class, they do a celebration, and one of the deacons shook my hand and he just held me. And I was like, okay, this is strange. And he looked me in my eyes and he says, one day you'll be preaching to the thousands. And I just looked at him and I said, okay. And I just walked off. I was like, okay, he got this is not what I'm going to be doing. I was like, okay, maybe you see something that I don't know. But no, I never knew that this is where I'd be.
Okay, so from there, you entered into the education field. You began teaching. So how many years did you teach, and where all did you teach?
So I'm a storyteller. So I left journalism and went to work for my uncle's construction company. Did that for a little bit, and being the only woman yet again, I said, I think God is calling me to do something different. I'm supposed to impact the world. And I called up one of my uncles who is now deceased and told him the dreams I was having, told him everything I was going through. And he said to me, God's calling you to be a teacher. So I went, okay, he's a preacher. I respect what he said. I did not know he didn't believe in women preachers. And so he told me I was being called to be a teacher. Well, I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to know what I'm doing. And so I took a job in Guilford County at Jamestown Middle School. It was, that was 9/11. That's when I started teaching, the year of 9/11. And because 9/11 happened while I was teaching at Jamestown Middle School. And I enrolled in school. I applied to get my master's because I wasn't certified and I needed a certification. And again, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big. And so I joined a program at East Carolina. I fell in love and got married. So I did a year at Jamestown Middle School. I moved to Greenville and I did a year at J.H. Rose High School. And then I did a year at, I just lost the name of the school. I'll think of that in a minute. Another high school down there. And then after that, I went into alcohol education. I worked for the ABC Commission. I traveled the state of North Carolina teaching alcohol law. It's a long way from English class, but it paid much better than being an English teacher. So I was still teaching and using my degree, but I taught alcohol law for the state and traveled the state daily. And after that, I got married and had beautiful twins that were premature and started this new journey of life. By then, I was living in Burlington, and my children fought for their lives. They were born at 1 pound 6 and 1 pound 7, and was told they wouldn't make it out of the hospital. So they were born at 25 weeks. And since I'm talking to a man who carried a baby for 40 weeks, my water broke at 24 weeks, and they were born at 25. And so the likelihood of them surviving was slim to none. And, I promised God, I said, you know what, you made me a promise. You told me I was going to have twins. And I remember standing in I was standing in the bathroom at Duke Hospital. I said, you brought me into this hospital with 2 babies, and I'm going to leave this hospital with 2 babies alive. And the reason I was there is my parents had been in a car accident. Because let me tell you, this is how God works. My parents were in a head-on collision. They hit a deer. My mother lost her sight immediately. The lens of her eye detached and went inside of her eye and laid down, right? So she was blinded immediately. And we were taking her to doctor and specialists, and I'm big and pregnant, and finally got to a specialist at Duke Hospital, and they gave us good news. We can save her sight. She's going to have to go through all these surgeries. We're going to start tomorrow. On the way to pre-op, my water broke. So my mother is heading to pre-op in Duke Hospital. I have no idea that it is not like the movies, right? It's not like that at all. And so I was like, I think something's happening. So while she's in pre-op, I got admitted to the hospital in labor. I was able to hold the kids in for, that was a Tuesday, and I had them early Sunday morning. I should have known I was going to be a preacher. Early Sunday morning, they came out at 1 pound 6 and 1 pound 7. And this newfound faith kind of reignited in me. I knew I was called to preach by that point, but I was running from it. In 2002, I had these series of dreams, and I knew God was calling me to do something. And then I talked to my pastor at the time, and he said, you can either push through this and do this, or you can wait until your life is perfect, right? Yeah, that never happens. And so I said, I'll just wait. Maybe I'm not supposed to preach. I mean, I had a date set. I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And I put it on the back burner to be a perfect wife, to be a mom to these kids, to save my marriage. And that didn't work. That did not work. And after that, I realized in the hospital that when you put God on the back burner, God has a way of circling back to get your attention. Not necessarily saying you're going to be punished, but God can do things to get your attention and to put your focus back. I said goodbye to my son at least twice, holding him in my arms. And as I heard the machines kind of going off, right? They had open heart surgery and weighing less than 2 pounds, and they lost my son on the table. And I promise God, if you get me through this, I'll do whatever you want me to do. If you get my mother's sight back, if you let me come out of this hospital with 2 babies, I don't care if they're not healthy. Just let me have 2 alive children that I can love. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Don't ever make God promises you are not willing to keep. And so I ended up losing my marriage. Because my focus was more on serving God and loving my children. And that's not where that person wanted to be in their lives. They the quote was, I didn't sign up to be married to a preacher, and so was not going to be a part of this journey with me. And I found myself as a single mom with 2 little babies. When they were 3 years old, I became a single mom. And then I started my journey to Wake Forest University because I knew I was called to preach. And I did my initial sermon in 2009, December 2009, and I started graduate school at Wake Forest in August of 2010. I told you I got a story. I'm a storyteller, but it's a real story.
Right.